Earlier in the year, reached #1 in the charts, and before we meet two members of the Reformed Madness, Graham Suggs McPherson and Carl Smith, let's have a look at their latest video.
Well, they tell me about the pie up in the sky, waiting for me when I die. But between the day you're born and when you die, they never seem to hear even your cry. So as sure as the sun will shine, I'm gonna get my shine out, what's mine. And then the harder they come, the harder they fall, what I know. The harder they come, the harder they fall, what I know. Well, the oppressors are trying to keep me down, trying to drag me underground. And they think that they have got the battle won. Oh, I say forgive them, Lord, they know not what they've done. So as sure as the sun will shine, I'm gonna get my shadow, what's mine. And then the harder they come, the harder they fall, what I know. What I say, now what I say, the harder they come, the harder they fall, what I know.
What are you thinking?
Well, Suggs and Carl, how are you?
Very well, thanks.
Not bad, thanks.
You always look, we were saying you always look as if you're enjoying yourselves.
Try to.
Not off.
So why did you just decide to stop all of a sudden, just like that?
Well, it wasn't quite as immediate as it seems on the biog. That one by one members of the band were leaving, dying or falling apart, and so it ended up with 4 of us, and we realised that it wasn't really the band anymore, so we just knocked it on the head, but also because no one was interested in us anymore.
Why was that, do you think?
I don't know, to ask them. But I suppose, you know, because pop music is pretty ephemeral, and there's, you know, every opportunity that your career is going to be over at some point or another.
Do you think you were
So
marketed
10 years was a pretty
properly
good stretch.
then? Yeah, it was.
Really.
It was, and you had lots of hits. But do you think that you were marketed in the right way, that you were...
No, it wasn't to do with that, no, it wasn't to do that. It was just, we started off with a sort of nuclear blast of energy when we were all 18 and 17. And then as we got older, we needed a bit more time, we started being a bit more reflective, but we started to lose that energy as well, so we got a bit confused ourselves, really.
Right. Did you get fed up?
Anymore.
You're not anymore, that's good.
No, I'm just ignorant.
Did you get fed up with one another? I mean, if you're together all that time, and it's a long time, and if you're touring and you see everybody, and did you get sort of bored with one another? Or did you get bored with the whole thing, or do you think?
Not really, no. I mean, it's a cyclical thing, really, I think. You know what I mean? If things aren't going so well, then you start finding things to argue about. And
yeah.
But, I mean, we've always been friends. I mean, we've known each other, some of us, since we were 5 years old, so it was never a problem, really, in the long term. But, you know, it's just that thing of you end up niggling with each other when things aren't going right and looking for things to blame. So
did you get, when you were away from it, did you miss it? Did you miss it a lot?
I think there's lots of parts of it you miss, yeah. I mean, it was 7 of us together for some 12, 13 years as a working band, so, yeah, you miss having fun, writing songs, playing, yeah.
Did you have any sort of worries about actually getting back into it at all? Or were you just desperate to have a go, or were you worried about it?
I don't think we were desperate. We thought it might be a good idea, but we were wary.
No, I mean, you know, obviously 7 people with 7 different ideas, and some of us had no worries, and some of us had a lot of worries, and also in the interim period, people had been doing other things that they wanted to continue with, so we had to, it took quite a while just to make it so that we could fit everything in, and everyone's lives and families around the projects we had in mind as we're now back together. Because another thing is we all had families, you know, and our lives have changed considerably since we started. And another reason that we split up was that we were on a treadmill, that, you know, kind of showbiz treadmill, that we don't want to be on anymore. So,
right. Are you able to sort of more or less dictate what you do now? I mean, are you more in control of it?
Anything but TVAM.
So how come you ended up here, I know?
Morally blackmailed we were. There's some bad film of us from the early 80s
Yes,
here. They said they'd show if we didn't come on.
unless you come in. I remember very well, you talked about the energy, and it was true. I mean, at that time, the bands that were coming out and the kind of sound that was coming out was so different. I mean, I remember leaping up and down the dance hall when I was at college in Edinburgh, and it was great, you know, wearing daft hats and crazy badges and everything. It was really good. Do you think all that's going to come back again, or have you kind of left that behind and you're on to something else now?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't really want some of the aspects of it to come out, like cardboard hats and pretend leather ties with musical notes on them.
Oh gosh, I had one of them.
But I mean, I must say, it was a surprise to me when they brought out a Greatest Hits Divine Madness that did really well, and the warmth of feeling that generally we got from people, and being called an icon and a British institution in serious newspapers. But yeah, I mean, we unintentionally gave off a lot of warmth, and now we're getting it back. So
you do, very
can't say
much
fairer
so.
than that.
Very much so. I mean, there is a genuine sort of wave of affection for you. Oh, Madness, oh, they were great, and you listen to all the
Until
songs.
they meet us.
And then it all goes, not at all.
It all goes out the window.
Not at all. So what's happening now once the single's out? What's the next one going to be? Do you know yet?
I mean, it's a bit complicated because we did 2 shows at Finsbury Park, which were kind of comeback shows, or thank you shows to the people who bought our Greatest Hits. And they were recorded, and an album's been put out, and this is a single off it. But it's not really the new Madness, it's not really what we'd like to be doing, because we'd like to make a new record, which we will be doing next year. So it's a bit up in the air at the moment as to what we do next. But we're doing some more shows at Christmas. Good. And we hope to do a new record next year. If anyone will have us.
I'm sure they will. You're silly. Listen, it's great to see you both. It really is. And we'll look out the cardboard hats and the ties.
And those old Harringtons, a bit too small, with all patches hanging off
Exactly. Everything had to be too small.
Yeah.
Trousers had to be too small.
That's right.
Oh, nostalgia. Wonderful stuff. Thank you both.
Brains as well.
Well, the clothes will be too small now.
Cheers.
Bye.
Morning, kids.
Morning, Britain. Well,